The large screen in the Galactic Observatory flashed red. Commander Daho looked up from his desk, his eyes wide with surprise. He had been watching Earth for 15 years. The blue planet was always there, third from its sun, spinning as it had for billions of years. But now it was gone. "Run the scan again," Daho ordered. His voice was calm, but his heart beat faster. The young officer at the controls nodded. "Yes, Commander." His fingers moved quickly over the panel. The big screen blinked, then showed the same result. Where Earth had been, there was nothing. "Could it be a system error?" Daho asked. "No, sir. All systems are working perfectly," the officer replied. "Earth is simply not there anymore." Daho walked to the window of the observatory station. From here, he could see the stars of 1,000 worlds. He had to report this to the High Council immediately. A planet could not just vanish. On Earth, Dr. Hannah Kim stood in the control room of the Global Shield Project. Screens surrounded her, showing the faces of world leaders from every continent. They all watched her with nervous eyes. "The planetary cloaking field is active," Hannah announced. "Earth is now invisible to all known detection methods." The president of the United World Alliance nodded on the main screen. "How long can we maintain this?" "Indefinitely," Hannah said. "The system draws power from the Earth's core. It could run for thousands of years." Hannah looked at the data flowing across her screens. For 10 years, she had worked on this project. It had started when Earth's long-range scanners first detected alien ships watching them. Then came the translated messages between alien powers, planning how to deal with humans. Some wanted to trade. Others wanted to conquer. The world leaders had made their choice. Earth would disappear. "Remember," Hannah said, "from this moment, no signals leave our atmosphere. No radio, no light, no heat that can be detected. We are a ghost in space." The defense minister spoke up. "What about our ships already in the outer solar system?" "They have all returned," Hannah replied. "The cloaking field extends beyond Mars. Our entire inner system is now hidden." In his private office, Admiral Ta of the Stellar Confederation stared at the report. Earth, a primitive but rapidly advancing world, had vanished overnight. It made no sense. "Could they have destroyed themselves?" asked his aide. Ta shook his head. "Impossible. Even a total war would leave radiation, debris. There would be something left. But our scanners show nothing. It's as if the planet never existed." He stood and walked to the star map on his wall. Earth had been of special interest to the Confederation. Humans were unpredictable, creative in ways his people were not. They advanced too quickly. Many in the Confederation had wanted to slow their progress, perhaps even control it. "Prepare a scout ship," Tate ordered. "I want to know what happened to Earth." Back on Earth, Hannah walked through the silent streets of New Seoul. The night sky looked different now. The stars were visible, but Earth cast no light upward to dim them. The city lights were still on, but a special field above the atmosphere absorbed all radiation that would normally escape into space. People moved about their lives, but there was a new feeling in the air. They all knew they were now hiding from the eyes of the galaxy. Hannah's phone buzzed. It was a message from her assistant, Jin-ho. "The first alien scout ship will reach Mars orbit in 3 days," it read. "The deflection system is ready." Hannah smiled. Not only was Earth invisible, but any ship that came looking would find its instruments confused, its navigation systems gently nudged to go elsewhere without ever realizing it. Earth had not just disappeared, it had become a phantom. And phantoms, Hannah knew, could watch without being seen. 6 months had passed since Earth disappeared. The Stellar Confederation's Grand Meeting Hall was filled with angry voices. Leaders from 20 different alien worlds argued with each other. "Humans cannot simply vanish," shouted the delegate from Proxima, his blue skin dark with anger. "They must be hiding somewhere." Admiral Ta stood at the center of the room, calm despite the noise around him. He had sent 5 scout ships to Earth's solar system. None had found anything. Our best ships have searched, Ta said. They found empty space where Earth should be. The humans and their planet are gone. The truth was more complex. Each scout ship had approached Earth's solar system with the best detection equipment in the galaxy. But as they got close, something strange happened. The pilots found themselves changing course slightly, not even noticing they were doing it. They would scan an area, see nothing, and move on, never realizing they had been guided away from Earth by an invisible force. In her lab beneath New Seoul, Dr. Hannah Kim watched screens showing the alien ships. The distortion field was working perfectly. Earth remained hidden. "They're leaving again," said Jin-ho, her young assistant. He pointed to one of the screens. "This is the 5th ship this month." Hannah nodded. "Good. The distortion field is working even better than I hoped." The distortion field was her newest creation. It didn't just hide Earth. It gently pushed away anyone looking for it. Ships would change course without knowing it. Their instruments would show nothing unusual, and their crews would never suspect they were being redirected. "What if they send more ships?" Jin-ho asked. "What if they don't give up?" Hannah smiled. "Then we'll be ready." She led Jin-ho to another part of the lab. Here, a new project was taking shape. It looked like a satellite, but its purpose was not to observe. "This is the first Guardian," Hannah explained. "If the distortion field fails, this will protect us." Jin-ho studied the device. "What does it do?" "It disrupts the control systems of any ship that comes too close," Hannah said. "Not enough to harm them, just enough to make them leave." Jin-ho looked impressed. "You're not just making us invisible, you're giving us teeth." Admiral Tai sat alone in his quarters, studying old pictures of Earth. The humans had been fascinating to him. They created art and music unlike any in the galaxy. They fought wars but also built peace. They were unpredictable in ways his people could never be. And now they were gone. His computer beeped. A message from the High Council appeared on his screen. "Find Earth," it said. "All resources authorized." Ta frowned. The Confederation had never shown this much interest in a primitive world before. Something wasn't right. He opened a secure channel to his most trusted captain. "Prepare the Starseeker," he ordered. "I will lead the search myself." On Earth, the World Council met in their underground chamber. Representatives from every country sat around a large table, their faces serious. "The aliens are not giving up," said the defense minister. "They keep sending ships." "Our systems are holding," Hannah replied. "No one has detected us." The president stood up. "Dr. Kim, your phantom technology has protected us so far, but we need to do more than hide. We need to understand why these aliens are so interested in finding us." Hannah nodded. "I've been working on that." She touched a control, and a hologram appeared above the table. It showed a small spaceship unlike any Earth had built before. "This is the Phantom Scout," Hannah said. "It uses the same cloaking technology that hides Earth. It can travel beyond our solar system without being seen." "A spy ship," someone whispered. "Yes," Hannah agreed. "While we remain hidden, these ships will be our eyes and ears. They will learn everything about those who hunt us." The president looked at the faces around the table. "Who will pilot these ships?" A young man stood up from the back of the room. It was Jin-ho. "I will," he said. "I helped build them. I know how they work." The president nodded. "Then prepare your crew, Captain Jin-ho. Earth may be a phantom, but now we will become the Watchers." 2 years had passed since Earth vanished. Across the galaxy, aliens told stories about the missing planet. Some believed humans had destroyed themselves. Others thought a powerful race had wiped them out. A few whispered that humans had found a way to escape this reality altogether. None of them were right. In a bar on the trade world of Nexus, 3 alien captains sat drinking and talking. Their ships were different, but their stories were the same. "I flew right through where Earth should be," said the first captain, a tall being with gray skin. "Nothing there. Not even dust. The second captain nodded. Same for me. But something strange happened. I planned to search the whole system, but somehow I only checked half before deciding to leave. I can't explain why. The third captain leaned forward. Did either of you feel like you were being watched? The others stared at him. What do you mean? Asked the first. Just a feeling, said the third captain. Like eyes in the dark, watching me. Captain Subin's Phantom Scout ship hung in space near the Nexus trade world. From inside, she could see everything, but no one could see her. The ship was small, just big enough for her and 2 crew members. Its hull was covered with the same technology that hit Earth. Are you recording this? Subin asked her communications officer. Yes, Captain, he replied. Every word. Subin studied the 3 alien captains on the screen. These were not the first to report strange feelings while searching for Earth. The distortion field did more than redirect ships. It left a mark on the mind, a sense of being watched. Humans have become ghosts, Subin said softly. And now they fear us like they would fear ghosts. Her navigation officer looked up from his console. Captain, there's a Confederation warship entering the system. Subin checked her screens. The warship was large and heavily armed. Its markings showed it belonged to Admiral Tai himself. Stay quiet, she ordered. Let's see what the Admiral is doing so far from home. On Earth, in the command center deep beneath what was once the United Nations building, Dr. Hannah Kim presented her findings to the World Council. Our Phantom Scouts have been watching for 2 years now, she said. We've learned much about the aliens who once watched us. Images appeared on the large screen behind her. Different alien species, their ships, their weapons. The galaxy is divided, Hannah continued. The Stellar Confederation and the Nexus Alliance are the 2 major powers. They have been rivals for centuries. Earth sits on the border between them. The defense minister leaned forward. Are they at war? Not yet, Hannah replied. But both sides were interested in Earth because of our location, and because of how quickly we advance. The president nodded slowly. They feared us. Yes, Hannah agreed. Our technology was developing faster than theirs. Some wanted to stop us before we became too powerful. Jin Ho, now a senior officer in Earth's new Phantom Fleet, stepped forward. We've also discovered something else. Several alien ships have tried to land on Mars, thinking Earth is gone. The room grew quiet. What happened to them? Someone asked. Nothing yet, Jin Ho said. They look, find nothing of value, and leave. But sooner or later, someone will try to stay. The president stood. Then we need to decide what to do when that happens. We cannot hide forever. Hannah looked around the room. We don't need to come out of hiding completely, but perhaps it's time to send a message. What kind of message? Asked the defense minister. Hannah's eyes were calm but determined. One that tells them this solar system is not abandoned, that it is protected. Jin Ho nodded in agreement. A message from a phantom. Admiral Ta stood on the bridge of his warship, staring at the stars. 2 years of searching had found nothing. But he could not stop. Admiral, his first officer said quietly, the High Council is demanding results. Ta didn't turn around. Tell them I need more time. Sir, they're saying if you don't find Earth soon, they'll assign someone else to the task. Now Ta did turn, his eyes narrow. No one else understands the humans like I do. No one else will find them. His first officer hesitated, then asked, what if there's nothing to find? Ta looked back at the stars. They're out there, he whispered. I can feel it. Sometimes, I think they're watching us right now. He was right. Nearby, invisible to all sensors, Captain Subin's Phantom Scout recorded every word. Red lights flashed in Earth's command center. Defense Director Jun looked at the large screen with narrow eyes. What are they doing? He asked. The screen showed 5 alien ships approaching Mars. They were not research vessels or scout ships. They were colony ships, large, slow vessels designed to carry thousands of settlers. The Doran species, said an analyst. They think Mars is empty and plan to claim it. June turned to Dr. Hannah. Will the distortion field work on them? Hannah shook her head. Not with that many ships. They're too spread out. Some will get through. June's face hardened. He had been a general before Earth went dark. His job was to protect humanity, not hide it. We need to act, he said. If they establish a colony on Mars, others will follow. Our solar system will be taken piece by piece. He looked around the room. I recommend we use the Guardian satellites. The room grew quiet. The Guardians were Earth's hidden defense system. Invisible weapons platforms placed throughout the solar system. They had never been used before. Captain Mock of the Doran Colony Fleet felt proud. Mars would be a good home for his people. The planet needed work to make it livable, but the Dorans were skilled at changing worlds to suit them. Begin landing preparations, Mock ordered. First team on the surface in 30 minutes. His second-in-command nodded. Yes, Captain. The humans won't mind. They're long gone. Suddenly, all screens on the bridge turned white. The ship's engine shut down. Around them, the other 4 ships in the fleet went dark too. What's happening? Mock demanded. The screens flickered, then showed a simple message in the Doran language. This system is protected. Leave now. Mock stared at the message. Who's doing this? Scanned for other ships. All systems are locked, Captain, his officer replied, panic in his voice. We can't scan. We can't move. The ships floated helplessly in space. Then, without anyone touching the controls, the engines started again. The navigation system turned the ships around, pointing them back the way they had come. The screen message changed. Return to your territory. Do not back. In Earth's command center, June watched the Doran ships leave. The Guardian satellites had worked perfectly, taking control of the alien vessels without harming anyone. Message delivered, June said with satisfaction. The president looked troubled. And now they know we're here. They know something is here, Hannah corrected. They don't know it's us. Jin-Ho nodded. The message came from nowhere. No visible ships, no energy signatures. To them, it's like a ghost protected Mars. A phantom, Hannah said softly. The president turned to her. Will they come back with more ships? With weapons? Probably, June admitted. But next time, we'll be ready. News of the Mars incident spread quickly through the galaxy. The Dorans told everyone how their ships were stopped by an invisible force. In his quarters, Admiral Todd read the reports with growing excitement. This was the first real clue about Earth in 3 years. They're still there, he whispered, hiding but not gone. His aide looked worried. Sir, the High Council is concerned. If humans have technology that can control our ships, it means they're more advanced than we thought. Tai finished. Exactly what some in the council feared. He stood and walked to his window, looking out at the stars. But why only show themselves now? Why defend Mars but stay hidden? Perhaps they're watching us, his aide suggested, learning about us before they reveal themselves. Todd nodded slowly. Or perhaps they're afraid, hiding because they fear what we might do. He turned back to his desk. We need to approach differently. Not as hunters tracking prey, but as what, sir? Ta smiled slightly, as guests requesting an audience with a powerful but shy host. On Earth, the World Council debated their next move. The Doran ships were gone, but word was spreading. We can't stay completely hidden anymore, June argued. We need to establish boundaries. Hannah disagreed. The moment we show ourselves, we become targets. The president looked at both of them. Dr. Hannah, Director June, you've both protected Earth in your own ways. Now I need you to work together. He stood up and addressed the council. Earth will remain a phantom, but sometimes phantoms must make noise to keep their haunted house safe. 5 years had passed since Earth disappeared. In a large underground hangar beneath the Pacific Ocean, Dr. Hannah Kim stood next to Defense Director June. Before them was a fleet of sleek, dark ships. "The Phantom Fleet is ready," Hannah said proudly. 20 ships filled the massive space. Each one was covered with the same cloaking technology that hid Earth. They could travel anywhere in the galaxy without being seen. "They're beautiful," Joan admitted. "How far can they go?" "Anywhere," Hannah replied. "The new drive system can take them to any part of the galaxy in weeks, not years." A tall man in a black uniform approached them. This was Colonel Min, chosen to lead the first major mission beyond the solar system. "My crews are ready, Dr. Kim," Min said. "We've trained for 2 years in the simulators." Hannah nodded. "Remember, Colonel, your mission is to observe and learn. Set up the listening posts, then return. Do not engage with any alien species unless absolutely necessary." "Understood," Min replied. "We are the eyes and ears of Earth, nothing more." Across the galaxy, in a small research station, an alien named Kazakh worked alone. His skin was pale green, his eyes large and dark. On his wall were pictures and notes about Earth. Most people thought Kazakh was crazy. Earth was gone, they said. But Kazakh believed differently. "They're still there," he muttered to himself. "Hiding." He studied his screens. For 5 years, he had collected strange reports from across the galaxy. Ships that changed course for no reason. Brief sensor readings that didn't make sense. Messages from unknown sources, all connected to Earth's solar system. "Not gone," Kazakh whispered, "just invisible." His computer beeped. A new report had arrived. A trading ship had detected a strange energy reading near the Centauri system. It lasted only seconds before disappearing. Kazakh added it to his map. The pattern was becoming clearer. Something was moving through the galaxy, watching but never seen. On his flagship, Admiral Ta met with the High Council members via hologram. 5 stern faces looked at him. "The Mars incident was 3 years ago," said the head counselor. "Since then, nothing. Are you sure the humans still exist, Admiral?" Ta straightened his back. "I'm certain. But they've become more cautious. They watch and listen, but don't interfere." "Watch and listen? How?" another counselor asked. Tay touched a control, and a star map appeared. "In the past year, there have been over 30 reports of strange sensor readings across the galaxy. Brief, unexplained energy signals that vanish when investigated." "Coincidences," the head counselor said dismissively. "No," Tai insisted. "They're scout ships, human ships, using the same technology that hides Earth." The council members exchanged looks. "If you're right," the head counselor said slowly, "then humans are far more advanced than we thought, and far more dangerous." Ta nodded, "Which is why we need to prepare for when they finally reveal themselves." Colonel Min's ship floated silently near a massive Stellar Confederation space station. Through his view screen, he could see aliens moving about their business. None had any idea they were being watched. "Recording all communications," his officer reported. Min nodded. "How many listening posts have we placed so far?" 15, sir, spread across both Confederation and Alliance territory." Min felt a mix of pride and concern. In just 3 months, his fleet had placed hidden devices throughout the galaxy. These devices would send all alien communications back to Earth. "Sir," his second-in-command said quietly, "we've discovered something important." She showed Min a decoded message from the Stellar Confederation to the Nexus Alliance. "A peace treaty." Min was surprised. "No, sir. The opposite. They're preparing for war. Both sides claim territory that once belonged to humans." Min studied the message. "How long until they start fighting?" "A year, maybe less." Min thought for a moment. "This changes our mission. We need to learn everything about this conflict." "Why, sir?" Min looked out at the alien station. Because when powerful enemies fight each other, they don't watch their backs. And that's when a phantom can change the game. His ship silently moved away, unseen by any eyes, undetected by any sensors. One of many ghost ships now haunting the galaxy. Earth had changed. After 6 years of being hidden from the galaxy, human society was different. People spoke more softly. They watched more carefully. They listened more closely. They had become a civilization of observers. In the World Council chamber, Dr. Hannah Kim, now with silver in her hair, presented her latest report. Our listening posts have captured over 1 million alien communications, she said. We now understand their languages, their cultures, their weaknesses. The president nodded. And the war between the Confederation and the Alliance? It will begin in 3 months, Hannah replied. Both sides are moving ships to their borders. Defense Director June leaned forward. This could be an opportunity for Earth, or a danger, Hannah countered. If their ships enter our space during battle, then they'll learn we're still here, June finished. We need to be ready for that. The president looked thoughtful. Perhaps it's time to select someone who could speak for humanity, if needed. Young diplomat Hyun stood nervously in Dr. Hannah's office. At 28, she was the youngest person ever called to meet with the famous scientist. Do you know why you're here? Hannah asked. Hyun shook her head. No, Dr. Kim. I'm just a language specialist. Hannah smiled. You're much more. You've studied every alien language we've recorded. You understand their cultures, their ways of thinking. It's my job, Hyun said simply. I need someone like you, Hannah continued. Someone who can speak to aliens if the need arises. Hyun's eyes widened. You mean, become Earth's voice? Yes. The first human face many aliens would see in almost 7 years. Hyun sat quietly for a moment. Why would we break our silence now? Because silence is not enough anymore, Hannah explained. We need to guide events, not just watch them. Colonel Min's phantom ship hung silently above an alien world. This planet was a key military base for the Stellar Confederation. Warships gathered below, preparing for the coming conflict. They have no idea we're here, said his second-in-command. Min nodded. 6 years ago, we feared them. Now we watch them like they're in a zoo. Sir, his communications officer called. New orders from Earth. Min read the message carefully. Prepare to return home, he told his crew. All phantom ships are being recalled. Why? His second-in-command asked. Earth is changing strategy, Min replied. We're no longer just watching. In his small apartment, Kazakh stared at his wall of evidence. Over the years, his collection had grown. Pictures, reports, sensor readings, all pointing to one conclusion. Humans were still out there. But no one believed him. His door chimed. When he opened it, 2 Confederation security officers stood outside. Kazakh, you're wanted for questioning, one said. Why? Kazakh asked, though he already knew. Your research about Earth. Admiral Ta wants to speak with you. Kazakh smiled. Finally, someone important was listening. Back on Earth, Dr. Hannah worked with her team on the next evolution of phantom technology. The cloaking field hides us completely, she explained to Hyun, who watched with fascination. But our new system allows selective visibility. What does that mean? Hyun asked. Hannah touched a control. A small object on the table disappeared. Right now, you can't see this device. But she adjusted the control. The object appeared again. Now you can. The difference is, I can choose who sees it and who doesn't. Hyun understood immediately. So we could appear to some aliens but remain invisible to others. Exactly, Hannah said. We could talk to the Alliance while staying hidden from the Confederation. We could be visible to friends and invisible to enemies. That's amazing, Hyun whispered. Hannah's face grew serious. It's also dangerous. Once we start appearing to anyone, we risk everything. Then why develop this technology at all? Hyun asked. Hannah looked out her window at the city below. People moved about their lives, safe under the phantom shield that hid them from the stars. Because we can't hide forever, she said softly. Sooner or later, phantoms must either reveal themselves or fade away completely. Hyun nodded. And you don't want humanity to fade away. No, Hana agreed. I want us to haunt the galaxy on our terms. 10 years had passed since Earth vanished. 10 years of watching, listening, and learning. Now, it was time for the next step. 5 alien ships approached a point in empty space. Each came from a different world, all neutral in the growing conflict between the Stellar Confederation and the Nexus Alliance. None of them knew why they had been called here. This is foolish, said the captain of the first ship. There's nothing here. Then something impossible happened. A space station appeared before them. It hadn't arrived or uncloaked. It simply became visible where nothing had been before. What is that? Asked one of the alien captains, his voice shaking. A message came through on all their communication systems. Representatives of neutral worlds, Earth welcomes you. Inside the station, Ambassador Hyun waited nervously. She wore a simple blue uniform, designed to look formal but non-threatening. Behind her stood Dr. Hana, now an old woman but still sharp-minded. Remember, Hana said softly, they've never seen a human before. Some have only heard stories. Hyun nodded. I'm ready. The door opened, and 5 alien representatives entered. They were all different species, different shapes, sizes, and colors. All looked cautious and confused. Welcome, Hyun said in their common trade language. I am Hyun, Ambassador of Earth. One of the aliens, tall with purple skin, stepped forward. Earth disappeared 10 years ago. Where have you been? Hyun smiled. We've been right here all along. We simply chose not to be seen. Impossible, said another alien. Dr. Hana touched a control. A hologram appeared, showing Earth and its solar system. Not impossible, Hana explained. Just advanced science. We developed technology to hide our entire planet. The aliens looked at each other, clearly stunned. Why reveal yourselves now? Asked the purple alien. And why only to us? Because the galaxy is about to change, Hyun replied. War is coming between the Confederation and the Alliance. We've chosen to speak with neutral worlds first. How do you know about the coming war? A third alien asked suspiciously. Hyun looked at each of them. We've been watching. For 10 years, we've had invisible ships throughout the galaxy. We've heard every plan, seen every preparation. The room grew very quiet. On his flagship, Admiral Ta received an urgent message. 5 neutral worlds were suddenly requesting meetings with the High Council. What do they want? Tai asked his aide. They won't say, sir, but they seem frightened. Ta frowned. Something had changed. He could feel it. Any news from Kazakh? He asked. No, sir. He's still analyzing the data we gave him. Ta looked out at the stars. Then we wait, but be ready to move quickly. Back on the station, Hyun had finished explaining Earth's situation to the 5 representatives. They all looked overwhelmed. So you've been invisible, watching all of us for a decade? The purple alien asked. Yes, Hyun admitted. We had to understand the galaxy before deciding how to engage with it. And now? Now we offer an alliance, Hyun said. Not with the Confederation or the Alliance, but with neutral worlds like yours. We can provide protection and technology. In exchange for what? Asked a small yellow alien. Peace, Hyun replied simply. And recognition of our solar system as protected space. The representatives talked among themselves. Finally, the purple alien turned back to Hyun. We need to discuss this with our governments, he said. This is unexpected. Hyun nodded. Of course. This station will remain visible to you. Return in 7 days with your answers. In her private room, Dr. Hana watched a screen showing Earth. From orbit, it was beautiful, blue, green, and white. Her life's work had kept it safe for a decade. Was it the right choice? Hyun asked, joining her. To reveal ourselves now. Hana smiled tiredly. Hiding protected us when we were weak. But now we're strong. Strong enough to choose who sees us and who doesn't. The Confederation and Alliance will learn about this meeting, Hyun warned. Of course they will, Hana replied. That's part of the plan. What happens next? Hyun asked. Hana's eyes were calm and certain. The phantom begins to haunt selectively. And those who are haunted will never feel safe again. The news spread quickly throughout the galaxy. Earth had returned, or rather, it had never left. 5 neutral worlds now openly spoke of their alliance with humans. They told stories of invisible ships and hidden planets, of humans who could appear and disappear at will. In the Stellar Confederation's war room, Admiral Tai faced angry council members. How could you miss this? The head counselor demanded. Humans watching us for 10 years. Tai remained calm. I told you they were still there. I told you they were watching. And now they've allied with the neutral worlds, another counselor said. They know all our plans for the war. Yes, Tai agreed. They do. Alarms suddenly blared. A junior officer rushed in. Sir, an unidentified ship has appeared inside our defense perimeter. The council members looked panicked. An attack? No, Ta said, looking at the screen. It's an invitation. Commander Daeho stood on the bridge of his ship, staring at the strange vessel that had appeared from nowhere. 15 years ago, he had been the first to notice Earth's disappearance. Now he faced something even more surprising. Incoming transmission, his officer reported. A human woman appeared on the screen. Commander Daeho, she said in perfect Confederation language. I am Ambassador Hyun of Earth. We wish to speak with Admiral Ta. Daeho tried to stay calm. How do you know my name? How do you know our language? Hyun smiled slightly. We've been listening for a very long time. An hour later, Admiral Ta boarded the human ship. It was unlike any vessel he had seen before. Sleek, powerful, and until recently, completely invisible. Ambassador Hyun greeted him. Admiral Ta, thank you for coming. Tai studied her closely. You've been watching me for years. Yes, Hyun admitted. We know you've been searching for us since we disappeared. And now, why show yourselves to me? Hyun led him to a meeting room. Because war is coming. A war that will spread to our solar system if not stopped. That's not my decision, Ta said. The council has already decided, Hyun finished for him. We know. We've heard every meeting, read every message. Ta felt a chill. These humans had been ghosts in every room, hearing everything. Hyun placed a data device on the table. This contains peace terms. Terms that address the concerns of both the Confederation and the Alliance. How would you know their concerns? Tai asked. Because we've been listening to them too, Hyun replied simply. Back on Earth, Dr. Hana and Defense Director Jun watched the meeting on a screen. Both were old now, their hair white, but their eyes were still sharp. Will it work? Jun asked. Possibly, Hana replied. We're offering them a way to avoid war without losing face. And if they refuse? Hana smiled. Then we have other options. The screen showed Ambassador Hyun speaking confidently with Admiral Ta. The young woman had learned well. She knew exactly which concerns to address, which fears to calm. She mentioned the mining rights on the outer planets, Jun noted. The Confederation never revealed that was their main interest. They didn't have to, Hana said. We've read all their private messages for years. Ambassador Hyun watched Admiral Ta read through the peace terms. His expression changed from suspicious to surprised to thoughtful. These terms address problems we've never discussed publicly, he said finally. How could you know about our resource shortages on the inner colonies? We've been thorough in our observations, Hyun replied. Tai set down the device. Why are you doing this? What does Earth gain from peace? Safety, Hyun said simply. And time. Time for what? Hyun smiled. To decide what kind of neighbors we want to be. Ta looked at her closely. You could have stayed hidden forever. Why reveal yourselves now? Because true phantoms don't just hide in the darkness, Hyun replied. They shape the world around them. They haunt with purpose. Ta nodded slowly. I'll take these terms to the council, but they'll want something in return. Of course, Hyun agreed. They want to know that humans can't simply appear inside their ships or stations without warning. Ta looked startled. How did you? It's what I would ask, Hyun said. We're prepared to discuss limits on our phantom technology, but only if peace is maintained. As Tai prepared to leave, he asked one final question. Have you approached the Alliance too? Hyun's smile was her only answer. As Ta's shuttle departed, another human ship appeared near a distant Alliance outpost, ready to start the same conversation. 20 years had passed since Earth first vanished from the galaxy's view. Now, on the observation deck of the new Earth Embassy, Ambassador Hyun watched ships from a dozen alien worlds come and go. Some could see the station. Others, deemed untrustworthy, saw only empty space. The Phantom Doctrine is working, said a voice behind her. Hyun turned to see an old woman in a hover chair. Dr. Hannah Kim, now in her 80s, still served as Earth's chief scientist. Yes, Hyun agreed. 23 worlds have signed the agreement. The Phantom Doctrine was Earth's new approach to galactic relations. It stated simply, not all information must be shared. Not all presence must be known. Trust is earned, not given. And the peace? Hannah asked. Holding, Hyun said. The Confederation and Alliance have respected the terms for 5 years now. Hannah nodded, looking out at the stars. They fear us, you know. They fear what they cannot see. Fear can be useful, Hyun replied. It keeps the peace. In his retirement home on the Confederation capital world, Admiral Taz sat in his garden. Though no longer in service, many still came to him for advice. A young officer stood before him now. Sir, is it true that humans can see inside our ships whenever they want? Taz smiled. Perhaps. Perhaps not. That's the point. I don't understand. When I was young, Tai explained, we thought power came from what you could destroy. Earth taught us that real power comes from what you know, and what others think you know. The young officer looked troubled. But how can we trust them if they might be watching us right now? We can't, Ta said simply. That's why we keep our promises to them. In a special laboratory beneath New Seoul, Dr. Hannah watched her granddaughter work. Young Mai was only 25, but already she had surpassed her grandmother's achievements. Show me again, Hannah requested. Mai smiled and activated her device. A small object on the table didn't just disappear. It seemed to fade, becoming ghost-like, semi-transparent. It's not just invisible now, Mai explained. It's partially shifted into another dimension. Hannah reached out. Her hand passed through the object as if it were made of air. Untouchable, Hannah whispered. Mai nodded. Yes, the next phase of phantom technology. Not just unseen, but untouchable. You're thinking about the whole planet, Hannah said. It wasn't a question. Yes, Mai admitted. If we can shift Earth partially into another dimension, we wouldn't just be hidden. We'd be completely safe. No weapon could touch us. Hannah looked proud and concerned at the same time. The galaxy already fears us. This would make us seem like gods. Or ghosts, Mai said softly. Perfect phantoms. The Galactic Summit was held on neutral territory. Representatives from 50 worlds gathered to discuss trade, borders, and technology sharing. Earth held a special position, part mediator, part mystery. Ambassador Hyun addressed the assembly. 20 years ago, Earth chose to disappear. We did it out of fear, but what began as protection became a new way of existence. The aliens listened carefully. Some were allies, some still suspicious. We can all see each other today, Hyun continued, but we all keep secrets. We all have technologies, plans, and knowledge we don't share. Earth has simply made this fact the center of our policy. An alliance representative stood. You spy on us whenever you wish. How is that fair? Hyun smiled. We observe. Sometimes. Not always. Not knowing when is what keeps the peace. And if we develop the same technology? A Confederation member asked. Would you share it? With some, Hyun replied honestly. Not with all. As the debate continued, a young human aide approached Hyun with a message. The tests for Ms. new technology were successful. Soon, Earth could become more than invisible. It could become intangible. Hyun looked around at the aliens arguing about openness and secrecy. None of them truly understood what Earth had become. Not just a hidden world, but a new kind of civilization. One that existed between seen and unseen, between solid reality and shadow. The phantom that Earth became had changed the galaxy forever, and its haunting had only just begun.